Hello, everyone, and welcome here to episode 109 of Town Hall Heroes. It has been a few weeks off here with the show, but it's good to be back. My name is Solid Jake, and this week we have Dunk Train, King Caffeine, and Sray all joining us. Dunk Train, how have you been, my friend?
Hey, Jake. I've been well. We skipped last week's episode, so a lot has gone down in the Heroes scene since then. As some of you may not know, Cloud9 no longer has a professional Heroes of the Storm team, and the team has gone their separate ways. I'm sure we'll be talking about that a bit. We're here with Cap as well, so definitely get into all that in the future. For me, I've just been doing my personal stream, kind of relaxing, enjoying the time off, and seeing what the future holds. So, should be fun.
That transitional period life. Caffeine also in those shoes. What's up, man? Your second appearance on the show?
Yeah, I think so. Second or third, one of those two. Yeah, thanks for having me again. Yeah, as Dunk said, kind of in the same situation with Cloud9 disbanding. Got a lot of free time right now. Time to figure out what I want to do. So yeah, just watching some heroes, playing some heroes, and coming here to talk with you guys.
Awesome. Well, for the first time ever, we have Sray joining us here on the show. Sray, welcome to the show. Why don't you give a brief intro as to who you are?
Hey, so I play HOTS a lot. I've played on a few amateur teams, but mostly I'm known for playing on tempo and kind of a ladder hero, although I don't really agree with that. I stream from time to time, and more recently I played with Brainpower, which is mostly XCOG, and we did fairly well, I guess. Kind of, I don't know if it's irony that C9's here, but ex-C9 members. But yeah, beat C9 2-1 twice. So right now, just taking a break, playing some Overwatch. The new rank system came out, so I'm going to start that soon.
Nice. Well, today we're going to be talking about that new rank system that you just mentioned, the Heroes Global Championship, which is ongoing. The first 3 days have completed, and the next 3 days will be the actual live event, the DreamHack Summer, the actual LAN, I guess. And then from then, we'll be talking about some updates for the show. Now, you might be noticing that BKB is not present. Just today, he decided that moving forward, he no longer wishes to be part of the show. He's actually reevaluating whether or not he wants to continue pursuing Heroes of the Storm as a competitive title. He mentioned in his tweet that Battle Right is the game that he's looking at moving forward. So, unfortunately, BKB will no longer be part of the host panel here on Town Hall, and we'll be solving that moving forward. But let's talk a little bit about kind of this transition period that Dunk and Calf, you guys are going through, because obviously Cloud9, one of the longest standing, if not the longest standing brands in Heroes, has left the scene, which is definitely weird, I think, for all of us that C9 is no longer here. But obviously this kind of sucks. How did it come to be? Was it just kind of like a decision that something wasn't connecting, or?
Well, with regards to like the organization and them leaving the scene, like it's something that they've been kind of juggling for a while now. Even when we were first place, they were always, whenever we would have meetings with Jack, he was always coming to us telling us like, okay, we're like checking the growth of the game. It's not growing as much as we had hoped, blah, blah, blah. And they were really giving us this impression that they weren't really committed to the scene long term because it wasn't really growing as much as they had expected. So I think for us, it didn't really come as much of a surprise. But yeah, for everyone else, I can see how it is. And if you want to get into the issues of like why the team disbanded, that's like a really long story. And, it's stuff that's been going on for a while. And like we've been together a long time. So a bunch of shit builds up. And at this point, we just decided it was probably better for us to go our separate ways.
Okay, fair enough. Dunk, any comments?
Same. No, but really, I mean, Cal pretty much covered it all. From the business perspective, we've been talking to Jack. We know what was going on. We kind of knew this was coming. We didn't know when the axe would fall, but none of us were really surprised when it happened. And, all good things must come to an end, right? So it is what it is.
Shit, I was going to add something else, too, about it. Damn, I'll try to remember. That's something kind of crucial.
Well, C9 being no more means that you guys are going to be looking to either start your own new team or invade other teams. We've obviously been hearing the murmurs. Everybody's heard the rumors of this impending roster apocalypse. Yesterday, Zix announced his retirement. BKB announced his retirement today. Several others over the last few weeks, and this means that there's a lot of holes to fill. But on the opposite side, we have Brainpower, where Stray has now become a permanent member, and you guys have taken back Caterpillar. So this is kind of like, that cognitive roster where Coffin is no longer part of that roster anymore. You've kind of filled that role, but you're going to be the tank, and Cattle is going to be the flex player, if I understand correctly?
Yeah, so, I mean, it was their decision, mostly Glau, just on what they wanted me. I mean, they obviously played with me and him, and the reason they wanted me on tank was just because they like my comms, honestly. I'm really vocal when I play, so they felt like I'll call it, not only do I call engages, but I'll call, if I can help someone in the back line, etc. So it feels like it helps them. And Cattle is he's obviously a great player, but he's more quiet. Mm-hmm. And I kind of get the team hyped, I guess, at least it lands. So they felt that was a really good thing to have, especially on tank. So that's kind of why I'm playing tank and he's on range. And he's still a really good range player and flex all around. He just needs a little bit of time to adapt to that.
Cool. I mean, it's cool to see a team actually solidify their new roster going into this roster apocalypse so early. So definitely can be seen as an advantage because you guys will have more time to practice as a 5 and then just get ready and prepare your drafts and scrims, especially with Medivh coming into the meta, who should arguably really change the way a lot of the game works. I mean, yes, he'll be banned a ton, I think. I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong. What do you guys think of Medivh since I brought him up?
He's really interesting. From my perspective, I only played some games with him yesterday, like maybe 4 or 5, and I'm going to have a lot of respect for the first team that uses him well and does impressive things with him because I think he's going to be difficult. Although the value on the W is just insane. So, like, he feels like he kind of cripples the blow-up comp, if I'm not mistaken. Like, the whole Tyrande kill a single target thing, like, you just can't play it into him if I had to guess because you just de-shield the target every time they go for it, basically. But magical portals are basically going to decide who are the legendary Medivhs and who are just the okay players.
Yeah, really, really high skill cap, it seems, too. Like, there's just so much he can do, so many ways he can affect the fight. His 3 abilities, other than his Q, his W, E, and R, are just, like, super impactful. And when they're used at the critical time, they just completely turn a fight. And you have, like, so many different tools. So if you have a really strong Medivh player, I feel like he's going to have, like, the highest skill cap of any hero they've released.
Can we all agree that Medivh is very likely going to be terrible in the quick match, like, solo queue scenario?
Yeah, he's going to be he's awful.
Yeah.
Don't ever solo queue Medivh. You'll just get depressed.
I do think that he will be OP in competitive, though. I really do. Just he has so many, like the bird, the raven form, the portals. Just, I mean, you can have like 100% uptime in portals, and there's so much you can do. That the range is insane if you get the range down on 13, and the shield by itself is like just an amazing ability. So the only thing is he kind of lacks like damage or like kind of utility outside of that. So. Whose bird was that?
Sorry, I know you guys can hear all the things around my house. I don't think the stream could hear that bird, but that bird was really loud. Anyways, so we have Medivh. Medivh's kind of like this. He's not even classified as a support. But Dunk, we've said that this is kind of the direction you hope supports would go. After your 4 to 5 games you played with them, are you feeling like this is cool? Like we need more things like this? Is that like really fulfilling that for you?
Yeah, I had a blast playing him. I mean, it felt like, here's how I described it on stream, basically. I felt like when I was playing Medivh, anytime we lost a team fight, I was like, man, I could have played that better and we could have won that team fight. And, like, that's the feeling you want all of your heroes to have. You want everyone on the team to feel like if they were better, they could have won. And Medivh actually accomplishes that. Whereas, like, a lot of heroes, I don't think you really feel that way some of the time. Like, you're playing Rhaegar or Uther, and, like, you can do a lot of things, but you don't always feel like, oh, I could have won this team fight. Whereas when I'm playing Medivh, I'm like, man, dude, if I had seen that coming and portaled here or like shielded this guy at the right, like I could have won the game. And like, that's a really cool feeling. I love that feeling of empowerment. So that is something I look forward to more heroes having that.
I'm just kind of wondering how he actually fits into a comp, because he's obviously not a support filler. And if you have if you have a melee assassin and you have a tank, that means one of your range is going to be Medivh. And are you going to lack damage? Like, how's that going to work? Like, I don't know how good his damage output is. Like, the level 7 talent, the quest talent seems really, really good, but it takes a long time to stack up. So I don't know how he'll fit in the comp.
I feel like that talent is impossible to finish, man.
Oh, the quest one?
It does nothing until it fully stacks, too. It's like 35.
And it goes away if you die.
Yeah.
So, like, if you hit 34 and die, like, just walk away. Just turn your computer off, walk away, go home, like, sad day level of tilt.
It's like mega high risk.
I didn't even notice that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay, that's literally trash then.
Yeah, there's no scaling on it.
Impossible to stack up.
Yeah, it's actually insane because, like Dunk was saying, you don't get any benefit till it's maxed out. So it's like, if you happen to never max it out, you actually could just have a talent that does nothing. You have a talent that's completely wasted.
I actually kind of like the idea of like that not doing anything while it's stacking. You're forgoing basically a current power spike for eventual power. But I wonder if there's like a healthier way than losing all stacks when you die, or maybe like as you level up, maybe it should be easier to get the talent. So like, let's say you're level 16 and you still haven't gotten it. Maybe it should only take 10 stacks or something, right? To compensate for the fact that you've been without this power for so long. Like maybe there's some intermediate there, because I do feel like the 35 charges and like completely going away when you die is just, it makes it too impossible to get.
I mean, I think they just lower the amount of charges required, or they remove the death limitation. One of those two would be easy solutions.
Yeah, 35 is a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, it pierces, and you can get 3 to 4 at a time in theory. But like, if you're ever that far forward as Medivh, he doesn't really have the most safety. He does have invincibility, but he's not immune to stun locking. And
I think Blizzard took that Raven form thing too literally with the invulnerability.
No, is it just me, or does it have a longer cast time than a normal mount?
It does. It definitely does.
Doesn't matter.
I'm not sure if the cast time is longer, but after you cast, you kind of stand still for a moment.
There's like a 1.5 seconds of transformation animation that you can't move. And for some reason, I found myself canceling it really often when I was playing him. I'm not sure why that is, but it felt like I would get to like the last quarter of the second channel and feel like I could click to move, and then like I'd end up interrupting it and it'd be like, oh.
I've actually been, it's funny you say that. I've been doing that on a lot of heroes recently. I think it's just because I play on different ping between like 30 and like 100. But what I do now is I just shift Z when I'm mounting up.
Shift clicking is definitely the way to go.
It's the future. Alrighty, I'm actually trying to boot up here so we can talk a little bit more about Medivh before we transition, so we can look at his beautiful face.
I feel like everyone's...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Okay, what do you think about his like the alt? What alt do you think he should have at heroic?
Oh, I was going to ask about this. Yeah, they are both good. Polybomb seems so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually really interesting. I've seen situations where like my team gets 5-man polybombed, and I'm just like, oh god, why?
How's that even possible?
Well, like we were in a boss pit, I think, and it was just a disaster.
It can definitely happen. Yeah, the range is like the radius on the bubble is pretty big.
It's huge.
Have you ever played against the Vikings and polyed him, and then like I polyed this Viking at level 10, and the game went on for like another 15 minutes, and for at least like 8 of those minutes he was polyed the entire time. And all you hear is the little noises over and over, and I just see him walking around the map as 3 little sheep. And then I saw a Reddit post today that apparently you can't split them if you ever make that happen. I thought he was just trolling. I thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. It was just constantly going around the map. I'm like, what's going on? Apparently he was stuck like that for like 8 minutes.
Oh, that's great, dude. Yeah. That's great. Oh, then Night Owl, so good.
It is such a good skin, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm actually really interested in is, what do you guys think is his level 20 talent?
Are you talking about the poly one, or are you talking about just what?
Just like he has 5 different choices. So I feel like he has invisibility, arcane brilliance.
I don't know, man.
Instantly kill stuff. It just
they all seem insane.
I found myself getting the Q.
Yeah,
you get the Q?
The Q is really powerful.
Oh, wow, that's quick and clear.
Arcane Brilliance is so good with mages, and I really want to make invisibility work, though. Like, I feel like invisibility could be insane.
Yeah.
It is, 20 seconds.
I think that's probably the best one, maybe, or the
invisibility.
Poly. Yeah.
I mean, it's such a short cooldown.
That's insane.
10-second cooldown, 20-second duration. So
that's insane. And 2 stacks.
Yeah, but then again, it's just invisibility. You know, like.
Yeah, in Heroes, because it the way invisibility works in this game, it's not as powerful, but still, I feel like it could be good.
Mm-hmm. Like you
The
just in, but you
Yeah,
see him.
the one I wanted to talk about was the chain polyglyph because it actually decreases the duration of the polymorph to 1 second, um, which is interesting. I didn't expect that when I first talented it. I thought it would just make the explosion happen at 1 second, but it actually decreased the duration of the polymorph from 2 to 1 seconds, but increases the spread radius and like you end up with more chaos because everyone's popping faster. So
Right.
that was an interesting talent, but it feels like maybe too much of a trade-off for level 20.
You think so?
Yeah, I
Even
agree with that.
if you think about some synergies where you have like kind of wombo potential and stuff, couldn't it be really good?
I mean, it could be. I
It
mean,
depends what you're facing.
yeah.
Like against a medic, for example, where he's just trying to cast the constant interrupts is going to be really good because he can't heal if it gets interrupted.
Yeah.
Goes on a cooldown stuff.
The other great thing about Polybomb is it's only a 40-second cooldown, so you can just use it all the time. Like, what I find myself doing is you just Raven, like, look for people on the map, and if you ever see someone out of position, you can just, like, drop on them, poly them, get a gate to your allies, and, like, they can just get there and follow up.
Dude,
Playmaking potential.
I didn't realize Polybomb had a different animation or a different graphic for this skin.
Oh, it does?
I was actually
Yeah, it's like metallic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like little metals. It's cool.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
what
dude,
about-
the portals are nuts, though.
Yeah.
Like, the range portal is so huge. Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Get the range to 13, Jake.
So
It's
silly.
It's so huge.
All right, let me.
Oh, and if you get the level 1 talent, I think, where you can choose the portal locations,
Okay.
you can. This is so long. Like,
Have
the
you
13.
played with that much, Stray? Because I felt like when I only played one game with Portal Mastery, and I felt like it was impossible to use better than like the default portal. Like it was so hard to cast both where you wanted them, like in a timely manner.
I think it's just like the skill cap, right? Like I haven't really played them, but I can see situations where like you don't always want the portal on yourself if you're trying to save an ally, right? Like or if you're trying to get allies to go in and out. But yeah, the range. If you get that with the range, you can literally do it across the map. Like it's such a big radius or long
it's
range.
actually ridiculous, man. It's I don't know. It's kind of gross. And they can't do anything about it either. It's just
the thing is you can't destroy the portals, and they give vision too. So if anything, it's just a permanent ward.
Perma ward.
Like I think the portals should at least be destructible or something. I don't know.
Do you think?
I thought they were going to be.
I don't know. It's just there's no counter.
Maybe
you
like
can't even
destructible,
interrupt
like a
people
web wrap,
from sitting on it. I don't know.
or like you need like auto attacks to kill it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just right now, it is broken. Like it's broken.
But
Or
the
a
question
limited
is,
number of charges or something. Just infinitely use it.
Like I don't think it's fair to balance a hero around one ability that's just disgustingly overpowered. Like, and the rest of his kit's kind of not underwhelming, but it's not nearly as good. Like some heroes are really, all their abilities are just really solid. But I don't know if it's good to have one ability that's just why you pick the hero.
yeah,
That's fair.
that's fair.
He does seem just kind of like a a portal bot with the 5-second divine shield. He lets you engage hard. He lets you absorb huge amounts of damage as like a snap call. He's in a lot of ways of ward, not just the portal, but his bird form because he flies around and he just gets information, and then he sets up big plays. But I'm thinking about some kind of maps where it's all about those kind of rotations, like Dragonshire. Maybe Medivh will be really good. It's there's all these big rotations, and if you can do like quick invades onto their bruiser camp and get a couple kills, like you make it so that the enemy team's mercenary like camps are just never safe because you don't know when Medivh's going to scout you out, and then from the center of the map, oh guess what, they're on our bruisers. Guess what, they're on our giants. Whatever. It seems like it'll be pretty darn cool. Kind of impact that it could have on the game.
I actually think that on Dragonshire, I haven't tested it, but I think if you're on bot with Medivh, and you have the talent where you can place the portal anywhere and the range, you can almost portal someone when you're sitting bot lane, portal someone from mid to top, like almost up there.
That's insane, but I believe it. I mean, it's like crazy with like the level 13 talent.
I think you can portal from, if you're sitting in the bot shrine, you can portal from like the bot area bushes up into like the top area bushes from sitting bot lane. So it's if you know what I mean. And the level 16 talent too, which makes his W AoE is like pretty insane.
Level 16?
Yeah, there's a level
so
16.
you stack
So
that's the shield that stacks on people.
the circle of
That's
protection.
insane, dude.
Yeah.
Have you guys tested the one that does healing for damage absorbed? I don't know if that one's any good.
Yeah, I
it's
tested
good.
it. It is okay. I couldn't get it to feel that impactful, but I think that's more of a composition thing too.
Like maybe
Like-
on an Illidan that would be really good.
Well, it's
If you
also
lack
kind of
healing.
It's
like
better
the
against burst.
situations. Yeah, the burst situations, like Palm, where your Palm on a target that's getting bursted gets huge value because they waste all their damage and then they have no CDs up, is way more valuable. Whereas like against a team that has more spread damage, you probably want the AOE one, etc.
My
Yeah.
first game as a Medivh, I had a Kerosene with Palm, and you know the number of palms I denied on my own team with the shield was ridiculous. It felt awful,
Yeah.
but okay.
What do you guys think of the explosion on the shield damage at
I
7?
liked it. I was really impressed by it.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's
felt
probably the only talent you get it at 7.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember. Well, there's that.
pretty fair to
Yeah,
say.
there's that stupid.
Besides,
key
like
class.
you can't get the. I don't know, you get damage on Q, or you get the stacking, or you get the arcane explosion, or you get the where you go through the portal, you do damage. And
bird.
I think the
arcane
birds are
explosion
actually
is probably
good.
yeah, but
Like the portal birds are like giving everyone an extra auto when they first go in. It's like a lot of burst damage. I felt
yeah,
like
if you're going in like one of those comps that just like hard engages off portals, I
Yeah.
think it's really good
Yeah.
for sure. It just depends what comp. I think it.
yeah, I agree. I
I
think
still
both of
haven't
them
seen
sounds
any highlights of portal plays yet, though.
I tried. I couldn't make any. It was too hard.
You need an organized team. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like you'll make the
Yeah.
perfect portal, and then you'll watch your Diablo walk past the portal and
Oh,
then walk all the
God.
way to the team to go like use the spells.
Yeah.
Like you could. But I mean,
I
it's
can't
just
tell
'cause
you how
it's
many
new.
times I've portaled like in the middle of the team fight, and my allies like accidentally right click on it, and they just like come out of the fight.
Oh yeah.
So-
Oh
Yes.
no. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that I found, immediately that my first few games as Medivh, a lot of my allies weren't realizing the portals were even there to get them out, right? Those escape portals. People just don't think of it. They think they're on their own. They think they need the heal. They don't acknowledge this gateway of heaven. Maybe there should be a big bright arrow that says "Get in" or something. I don't know, but
I mean, that's kind of normal. I don't know if you guys played League. Like that was the whole thing with Thresh's Lantern. No one clicked that forever.
Yeah.
I see.
So
It takes a long time, I think, for people to reprogram their brain to evaluate
Makes sense.
that kind of situation.
it'll happen though,
Yeah.
for sure.
In due time. Last but not least on the Medivh discussion is we have a trailer. Did everyone see the new trailer for Medivh?
Oh, I know what you're gonna mention.
No.
You didn't see it. Well, at the end of the Medivh trailer, they show Gul'dan. Basically, Gul'dan calls out Medivh. He says, "I'm gonna come burn shit with Fellfire or something." Blah blah blah. And presumably, this is the first time they've ever done a direct Heroes teaser within the client. Caffeine is rip-a-roni
Rip.
and cheese. He's like, "I'm gonna go watch
Hello.
that trailer. Peace, guys."
Yeah.
Pretty dope, though, right? I mean, oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean they're doing it because of the Warcraft movie, right?
I would
Yeah.
imagine so. It seems to make sense.
I haven't seen it, but I don't know if that's spoilers or not. I heard that some of the characters were in there. You saw it, didn't you,
I
Doug?
don't think it's a spoiler to say that.
No,
Gul'dan
it's not a
is in the
spoiler.
Warcraft
Yeah,
movie.
I'm pretty sure Gul'dan and Medivh are in there.
Yeah, they both
Yeah.
are in there, and they were both in the preview. So I don't
think it's a
that's
coincidence that
spoiler.
they're
Yeah.
releasing both these heroes.
Yeah,
And Gul'dan's been
actually-
wanted for a long time too.
I'm actually surprised they didn't tie in more to the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
I probably
yeah,
had to be
you're right.
careful, honestly.
yeah, Gul'dan has been like there is no warlock character in the game, right? So it is actually good because I think Gul'dan fits a thematic niche that hasn't really been filled yet. So I'm happy to see him coming, and he's like a really cool character from lore and stuff. So that should be fun.
Dude,
Definitely.
Gul'dan will be. I really hope he has some cool, like, basically life tap where he burns his own health to do damage or amplify or get mana, whatever. All those
Alright,
different
all
things.
he needs is 2 dots, fear, and life tap.
And a
That's
pet.
game and a pet.
Gosh,
dude.
if he has fear, if he had a pet, he'd have what? An immortal or infernal?
What?
Gul'dan had a pet.
Oh.
Infernal,
He
not
would
immortal.
have.
Yeah, probably Infernal. That'd be OP.
Would he have an infernal?
As an ult, maybe.
I mean,
It would have to be an alt. But
It'd be-
and
it'd be
then
Guard.
yeah, Doomguard or Felguard
That'd be
would make
sick.
more sense. I think
Wait, hang on. Wasn't there a leak on Gul'dan with like
there
that?
was.
On the Reddit
Yeah,
post?
I'm pretty
what did
sure
they
they
say?
list some of his abilities. I remember seeing somewhere that he has life tap. I'm like 99% sure.
I mean, he has
Nice.
to. He's a warlock.
And does he have life drain too? Maybe.
I don't know. It was like one of those leak posts. I remember seeing it though. Someone can look that up. I don't know.
Yeah, it was mentioned on that Reddit post, but I don't remember the abilities.
There he is. Look at his red eyes. He's so angry.
Yeah.
Pet Jiraxis. That'd be cool.
Little pet Jiraxis.
Heroic, like level 20 upgrade, you just turn into Jiraxis, kill everyone.
I mean, I'd be down with that, honestly, but pretty unlikely. Who knows? Yeah, sorry, if you can find that thread and see what they had posted there.
I can try, but
Yeah, I mean, it's just an idea. Again, it's all just data mine stuff, but that guy's been, or not data mined, some guy's been predicting pretty accurately, which is kind of cool. But I don't know. We'll see. I think Gul'dan was the last one he had listed on there, so he's been right so far. But who knows?
okay, yeah. So it says I actually found the thread. So there's a guy on 4chan, blah blah blah, leaked heroes. Gul'dan probably around the movie release. His main trait is sacrificing life to do extra damage, then stealing life.
That's his trait.
Nice.
Okay, so he does
Makes
have
perfect
life.
sense.
He does souls. Yeah, okay. That's
Yeah.
good.
I mean, it's what warlocks are. So, yeah, obviously, with him being teased within the Medivh trailer, we can assume that Gul'dan will be the next hero they put into Heroes. And that's dope. I mean, yeah, it's another assassin. They could put him as specialist. Who knows? But I'd imagine he'd be an assassin. But an assassin with potential CC, right? You were talking about fear. Fear is a mechanic that doesn't exist in Heroes. I imagine they wouldn't run around. I imagine they would be feared in place, right?
Or they could run directly away.
Yeah.
I think running directly away is the
Oh.
healthiest way to implement that, but running in a
What's-
random direction is also
Yeah, just
amusing.
walking into like
That's so funny,
towers
though.
and shit.
I think in
Well-
Warcraft there's like running in terror and running in fear. It's like a different
Yes.
mechanic or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
there are.
Huh.
There's like Fiddle's Fear where you don't move that far. You just kind of
Yeah.
look like one.
Oh, that was
step.
in League that I'm thinking about. Yeah.
It's a mechanic
Well,
that
in-
doesn't exist yet, so for Heroes.
Yeah.
I don't
Should be
actually
fun.
think there's a lot of mages though in Heroes, so I'm fine with another mage.
I mean, we just
Yeah,
got
there's
a
really
bunch
not.
recently.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
Jaina is in
there's
play.
Omi,
There's
Li Ming, Kael'thas, Jaina, right?
It's
And then
Kate.
there's like Nazebo.
Falstad is a mage in a sense.
He's way more hybrid than the others, I would
Yeah,
say.
that's true.
I guess I just mean like relevant mages.
In
It's
the
like,
meta,
just like
yeah.
KT, Li Ming.
Yeah.
They could always just buff Jaina, but
I'm sure they'll give Jaina some love, but not until the next Warcraft movie because I'm sure she'll be part of it. If you guys haven't seen it, I actually really enjoyed the Warcraft movie. As someone who's been playing Warcraft games since I was a wee lad, it was nerdy as hell, right? If you did not like Warcraft, I can see why people wouldn't enjoy the movie. Like when I saw the 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, I actually understand that, right? But as a Warcraft fan, the movie was godlike. Like I had so much fun with it. So
Same.
Yeah.
all right, well, let's move on and talk about the new ranked system that just came out. Now, I'm the pleb here. I finished my placement matches. I think I went 3-7 or something. I'm only Plat 1. I'm in the Plat life.
Wow.
Feels bad,
Oh
man.
no.
Feels bad, man.
you're
Calf's
the
like,
first person I've heard of that didn't get into Diamond 3.
exactly. But I also have played very little Hero League in my life. I was rank 1 at the end of the season. But beyond that, I was barely rank 1. I was like, I hit rank 1 and I stopped playing Hero League during preseason. So, what are your guys' experiences been like? I know a lot of people like the whole day one where everyone in the world is rushing to play their placement matches, which literally means you're getting paired with, it seems like, any skill level of player. It was a struggle for me, personally. There were so many people that just did not, like, I saw talents I didn't know existed, which was fun, I guess. I saw a lot of really interesting things during my placement matches, but I'm curious if you guys have played yours, what they were like. And how'd you do?
Oh, well, I went 5-5. Pretty much to be expected, assuming that after MMR compression, I'm still where I belong, essentially, relative to other people. But I also felt like there was a lot of variance in games. Like, I had at least 2 games that I felt like there was no way I could win. And I had like 3 or 4 games where I felt like, oh, I'm really sorry for this enemy team. But to be honest, there's always some of that variance in matchmaking, I feel like, in any team game where you're solo queuing. So I didn't feel like it was as out of expectation as a lot of people were reporting. So maybe mine was just a better sample.
Okay. Calf?
Mine was the same, basically. I went 5-5. The games were awful. It was kind of just like playing a rank 1 game, basically. You could really tell there was like a large discrepancy in the skill of players on each team, like just the range of, where some people were playing, where other people were playing. And every game I played was like either a duo of pros versus a duo of pros, and then some randos spattered in, or like 4 pros on one team versus like you and 4 randos. It was really weird because obviously it's the first day of the matchmaking, so it's a little crazy right now, but I'm sure it'll all clean up. And like the system itself, I like a lot. Like how they're doing it. I think like it's not too much of a grind. I think it's like just the right amount. I like how they have the promo games and the demotion games. So
it feels like there's a lot to work towards. It really does. It's actually like in terms of the system itself and the execution and the design, it's beautiful. Srey, a former Hero League warrior, hasn't even played his placements yet. He's smarter than all of us, and he's just been waiting it out.
Well, one of the things is I just kind of feel sick, and I haven't really been up to playing. But, I mean, I'm not a fan of playing on the first day of the matchmaking release at all. I don't know why everyone's looking forward to it. Or surprised when the games are, like, total crap. Like, they literally reset MMR, so you're playing with people you would never otherwise play with, and people are like, oh, the matchmaking's broken. Like, it's the first day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to wait until everyone goes their kind of gets to their MMR a bit. I played 3 games. I went 2-1. The last game I played, which was a loss, was like impossible to win. But I mean, if you just think of it mathematically, you're going to be 4 allies in your team and 5 in the enemy team if you're including yourself. I mean, if you're always playing better statistically, you'll always have the advantage. So some games will just be impossible to win, but it doesn't mean that you will never build a climb or anything like that. So
yeah.
I like the changes. I think the seasons are great. I'm not sure how I feel about 10 weeks.
Little short or a little long? What do you think?
I think it's short.
Yeah.
The last season was obviously way too long, but I don't want to have to like regrind it out every like 2 months and a bit. I feel like I'd like to see like 3 times a year, maybe. I don't know. I'm just used to League, honestly, and I haven't played League for like 1 or 2 years, or the seasons are like 1 season a year. I don't know if I like the idea of constant resets.
Yeah, the 10-week thing, I also was really surprised by when I read that. Like, especially if you're handing out portraits and mounts and all that stuff every season, like, I think it's just going to get way too crowded if it's every 10 weeks. I mean, what I would like to have seen is tied it to the competitive cycles, perhaps, where you have like a season every competitive cycle. So you have like the spring championship, and your spring season is that time period, and then summer, fall, and like you have a break or whatever. Like, I think 10 weeks is too short.
I mean, that's just a Blizzard thing. Blizzard always likes to do those like tons of seasons with Hearthstone. Was it like once a month Hearthstone? And like StarCraft, they had it. I don't know, but pretty often.
Quarterly. It was quarterly for StarCraft.
So
and that's what I would like for myself for Heroes.
I mean, I think Blizzard's idea is just like, let's kind of like play to the casual audience where they want to just have their MMR reset or whatever. I mean, I feel like people who come back to StarCraft are like, wow, I haven't played this game for a really long time, and I don't want to go, play ranked and just like get destroyed. So, but people might, Blizzard thinks that people might want to come back if the MMR has been reset and they can just start again or something. I think that's what they're looking at, but I think they're hurting themselves in the long term. Personally, I'd rather see longer seasons, slightly longer seasons.
Okay,
I'd agree.
Well, obviously right now we're sitting on a 10-week period for the first season. I believe they said that it's not necessarily going to be that consistently moving forward. They're like kind of going to take feedback. They're going to be like, hey, let us know what you think. So this is the time to voice your opinions as to what you think the actual duration of the league should be, and they will determine that as time goes on. But I think it's actually a pretty good thing that the first season is only 10 weeks long, because that way they can have the 10 weeks of just data and get a feeling for it, and then tune it for season 2 and maybe make the improvements and such that may or may not be needed in that regard. Okay, well, let us just take one final look at basically what exists within the game. Basically, you can see that it has your rank here. As you do advance, it'll tell you that this is a game to advance or to be demoted, and there's an animation for that, which is kind of cool. There's also these links at the bottom. If you click them, it'll actually take you to the Grandmaster page and to the ranked guide, which are websites. I think we all agree that it would be nice if that was eventually built into the actual client. Right now, having a website is fine. It's definitely infinitely better than not having anything. But the thing I was actually thinking of, the first thing I thought of here is I was like, okay, how cool would it be is that when you click the Grandmaster leaderboard, that it took you to somewhere that also had like esports like right in your face, like help people, help bridge that gap, right, to people that are curious about who the Grandmaster players are and incorporate esports into that kind of field. That could be really nice, and I guess that's on my wish list.
I mean, it's nice they put the Global Championship on the homepage for Heroes, but I'd like to see them do more.
Yeah.
I mean, any
start.
step. Yeah, exactly. It's a good start. I mean, they
Yeah.
need to keep doing more of this. They need to keep, channeling people who just play the game into also being interested in that sort of stuff if they want to see the esports succeed. And I mean, anything is better than the nothing they had before, so it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's transition over to talk about HGC, the Heroes Global Championship, which day 3 was today, which was basically the final day of the preliminary stuff. So essentially, there have been all of the teams that did not place first in their region, or I don't know, I guess the second string teams is how we'll have to word it, were here. So teams like Naventic are flying out today because Naventic got first place in North America. The same thing for Dignitas, right? They didn't have to go out there immediately. But Gale Force and My Insanity and MVP Black, which is funny in its own right, have all been duking it out in Stockholm, basically in a studio environment, vying for their eligibility in the actual playoff stage, or the actual group stage number 2 before we even get to playoffs. So group stage 1 has now actually completed, and we do have the results. And let's start by talking about Group A, which had MVP Black, X Team, Renovatio, and Negative Synergy. And I don't think anybody's too surprised about this group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is exactly what everyone expected, pretty much.
A little sad that Negative Synergy boys ended up going out to Renovatio. I thought they had a chance there. I like to see those guys win and succeed, but fortunately they got 2-0'd. Next time.
If you guys actually didn't see the series between MVP Black and X Team, it was actually quite fun. Probably, I'd actually say, in my opinion, was the only series worth watching in that group. But
yeah, probably.
It was kind of a one-sided group in a lot of ways. But Group B was quite different. Group B had a lot of really good matches. My Insanity and Please Buff Arthas will be the 2 teams advancing. And Gale Force, unfortunately, very close, but not close enough, I guess, to actually advance on over to the second part of the group stage. And then Big Gods, they took a game, but they went out 0-2 overall.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean,
go ahead, Dunk.
I was just gonna say, I think MYI is definitely the strongest team in that group. I mean, they've consistently performed very well. I don't think as many people saw GFE falling going into that, but
no, I was surprised, especially after game 1 versus PBA. They stomped them. It was like a 10-minute game. Or maybe a little bit longer, but they took a keep pre-10. Well, at least on the side of PBA. It was what? Lunara, Li Ming. I forget their exact composition. I know they had Lunara and Li Ming.
Johanna that game?
Yeah, they had Joe, and Fury was playing Joe.
They played a lot of Johanna, Li Ming, Falstad. I noticed that was like their comfort trio.
Well, Raffle plays a lot of Falstad, and Michael Udall will play Falstad sometimes. Crowan was playing Li Ming as often as possible. It seems like since NA regionals, they were putting Crowan on Li Ming like constantly. Li Ming's a great hero,
yeah.
But They ended up. I actually did not catch the end of Game 3, but I heard it was very, very close.
Yeah, there was a core rush that ended up working out because there were some mistakes made. And, I don't know how that set goes if GFE didn't have travel issues, but, on the day,
Right.
PBA won. And I'm kind of glad to see them win a set too, because GIA is a team that was around for like a long time. They've been to the other globals, and making it to the second group stage, I think is good to see. A team from one of the not bigger regions, I suppose, make it is kind of cool.
Any surprising things in terms of like compositions that we're seeing out of the teams here in the first group stage?
God, I'd have to pull up the drafts. There wasn't anything super crazy though.
I'm trying to remember if anything stood out. I mean, we saw MVP Black play Medic to a lot of success, actually. We haven't seen Medic in a long time in NA. That was versus, I believe that was versus X Team.
I mean, Medic's a really good hero, just situationally.
Yeah.
Like if you last pick it or something, it can be really good. It's just as long as they don't have too much dive, which has been really popular recently.
If I'm not mistaken, also MVP Black has been prioritizing Muradin a lot more than they were before their set with Tempest.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to see that after he got nerfed, then they picked him up.
Well, I think it's like because of the new build.
Yeah,
the new
probably.
Build. Like he's literally a lot stronger now than he ever was before. So I don't know if everyone's aware of the Muradin build.
Yeah, the new BMO.
Okay, well maybe he's stronger in different ways. Fair?
He's stronger than his last iteration, definitely. But definitely not as strong as he's ever been.
No. Yeah. Just the last, I don't know, few months, I guess, I'm thinking.
I mean, this build is a lot more centric on sustain damage and sustain healing as opposed to, like, burst. So
it's just it only spikes it kind of like 16-ish.
It makes it good at the long drawn-out fights against other bruisers and stuff like that. And he also comes with the added bonus of being unkillable to ranged. So
you guys are talking about the heal in the second wave on the Stomp, right? That build of Muradin that everyone's doing nowadays?
Yeah, I can give you a rundown of it if you want.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, with battle momentum and reverb.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't actually talk about the new battle momentum changes, but they're actually turning to be very impactful on all the heroes that got them. So for those who aren't aware, 2 patches now ago, I think, maybe 3, battle momentum got globally removed, and certain heroes in exchange got a new version of it, which affects only their basic abilities and not their heroics, and I also think not their traits. But
yeah, it doesn't affect lunar momentum. Does not affect Mark.
Yeah. So Muradin has a new battle momentum, which is 0.75, right, Calf?
Yeah. Is it 0.75? I think it's 0.7.
No, 0.75.
Is it? Oh, damn.
Yeah, I just checked.
Yeah. So it's it's 50% more CDR on his W and E, so he actually gets like a lot more Ws off. Plus the healing got buffed. So
you just permanent W now. It's literally permanent as long as you're auto attacking.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that battle momentum even affected heroics before. So for me, I was just like, wow, all these heroes that have battle momentum are just better. So I was like, what is everyone talking about? What a buff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still like 0.5 to 0.75. That's still, I think I would still trade that no matter what on most heroes for like not having the heroic affected. Yeah, so you basically just go Reverberation, Thunderburn, Iron Forge Momentum, whatever heroic, healing static, give them the axe, and then Hardened Shield or Rewind.
I was seeing people still going Stone Form even with healing static too, which I think is interesting. Like I feel like you can definitely pull off give them the axe.
Yeah.
If you have the healing static.
I don't know if it's even worth going healing static if you go Stone Form. Just overkill, I think.
Well, what's the alternative on that tier? Thunderstrike still?
Yeah, well, I mean, if for those of you that don't know as well, healing static does stack with Thunderburn, which is like super strong.
Yeah,
you can literally hit it twice, but I think it might be too much healing. Like you give up, give him the axe. It's literally 60% more damage. It's always up, 100% uptime. It does a lot of damage. At 16, you hit for 300 in auto. It's like 294 or something like that, 291 at level 16.
Wow. So is this also why we're seeing a little bit more Tyrael? Angelic Momentum, is that enough to bring Tyrael up too? Is this something that like if your hero has one of these, it's going to instantly just make them more viable?
I mean, I think Tyrael's always been like good. It's just like
we saw a decent amount of him this weekend.
Like we see spikes, a lot of spikes with him. And always, every time it's international, he seems to get really popular again. But I mean, he just got the Buffs. Are the Buffs in for international play?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not
good
sure.
question.
I don't actually know
I
if
don't
they're
think
in for
the
the
serial-
second base.
I think the battle momentum is it? No, because was that the same patch as
Chromie,
the
I
Chromie
thought.
buffs?
That was a Chromie
Yeah.
patch. Chromie patch is live for this tournament.
Yeah. But I don't know if the ones that just happened with the mana ones are.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
you got like
the
5
mana-
off,
the
like all those
mana
basic.
changes definitely are in, because that just happened this patch yesterday, where you got
Yeah.
5 mana off all of his abilities,
Mm-hmm.
which is big because it's just to help him with the new battle momentum, so he can use more abilities per fight.
Yeah, I mean,
Huh.
I think he's always been good. I'm not surprised that he's played more. Let's say that.
Okay. Alrighty, well, again, just to recap, basically the group stage, MVP Black and X Team have advanced from Group A, and then My Insanity and Please Buff Arthas advanced from Group B. My Insanity not dropping a single map. They're looking very good, to say the least, and it's at the point where I would almost go as far to say of the Western teams, they're our greatest hope for a champion. And I'm curious where you guys stand on that.
Ooh. Based on performances we've seen, yes. Although I think the Dignitas, I mean, it depends what Dignitas shows up, right? Like, is it going to be the Dignitas that we saw right after the roster swap that really, really struggled? Or is it going to be a fixed Dignitas, right? Back to how good they were and everyone playing on point, stuff like that. Because I think it's definitely one of those two teams that has to carry the torch this event.
Yeah. I mean, Devente can definitely make the upsets happen. They can definitely win the event. But right now, NA feels like it's a little bit behind, I have to say, compared to some of the other top teams.
Are you guys just counting Eventic out because of the 3-0 at regionals? Is that why?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
is it because of like internal issues or just their play?
Play compared to world level of play.
yeah.
I mean, we saw them already before.
It's also...
are you guys just mentioning My Insanity and Dig because of the preliminaries with Gale Force? Or would you have said the same thing even before?
Oh, I said that prior to any of this group stage even starting. MYI is very good. But the thing about Naventic, from my point of view, especially from NA regionals, was seeing them win a match versus you guys and then yell at each other, and seeing that the arguments happening and this whole like the mentality of that team, right? They just it didn't look like they were just like upset about like X play not being good or whatever. It looked like they actually disliked each other to an extent, and that it just didn't look. It gave me a bad taste in my mouth when I experienced it, to be honest with you. And also, they just removed Taza as manager, and Taza, if you guys don't know him, that guy is a boss, and he made sure those guys were taken care of. So I don't know who's replacing him, but they're probably not going to have the same amount of respect for that person as they do for Taza. With that group of guys, that's an important thing. And B, probably just won't know how to take care of the team as well as Taza did. He did a great job with those guys, from what I could tell.
Taza was a king. Let's put it that way. Like, it was such a good time seeing him at every event, because like he didn't only care about his team too. You could tell he's kind of like the scene manager sort of thing. Like, he was helping every team. You know, like if he saw some hungry players in the lobby, he'd just straight up buy them food, like that weren't on his team or anything. Like, I don't know. It's gonna be sad. I hope he sticks around in Heroes somehow. I'm not sure what his plans are.
I think he already has a new opportunity working with League of Legends and Overwatch team or something.
Well,
I think he said he might come back eventually. But
he wants to.
I think he's by far the best manager.
Yeah,
in HOTS.
Definitely.
Just like a really all-around cool guy. Helped everyone.
Yeah, Taza was hella decent, so he's chill.
Nah, I don't know what the reasons were. I just heard rumors. So.
Yeah, I mean that's
sucks.
We're not going to talk about that regardless, because it's just that's one of the things that I think could hurt Naventic's performance. Though honestly, I really do think that having a manager that can really make your life easier, especially when you're going overseas and like you might have trouble finding food you're comfortable with eating or whatever. If you're in a different country, you don't know what the standards are going to be like. I'm sure DreamHack will be fine. I really am, but you never know. But let's continue on to the second group stage, which will be starting on June 18th. So we've got basically a few days where the teams will be traveling from Stockholm to Jönköping, which is where DreamHack Summer is actually held. It's a massive convention center in what I understand to be a pretty small town in Sweden. I could be wrong. But that's in 3 days from now. They're all transitioning. And we have E-Star Gaming, Team Niantic, MVP Black, and PBA all in Group A. That is stacked. That is very, very, very stacked. And we can actually we can see the first matches are Niantic versus MVP Black in E-Star and PBA.
This is new E-Star, though, right? Zhao T is not here, and NCCC is not here. So they have MNSR from EDG, right? Is that where their roster stands?
I think so. It'll actually be really interesting. I think that's the team that's the most unknown coming into the tournament. So we'll have to see how they look.
I mean, the players and skill comparison, I've played against both of them multiple times, SRM and NCC and Zhao T, and I think it's pretty similar. I think Zhao T is definitely like a level above all the rest of the melees, but I think the tank swap is actually not too bad. I think it's maybe even an upgrade.
Really?
Yeah, that guy, do you remember his performance at last Worlds in the spring?
Right.
It was insane. He played Laterial, ETC, and he was just making plays 24/7, so yeah, he's a big player.
Okay, cool. Well, obviously, I mean, Niantic and E-Star probably sitting in the middle of the pack. I'd say PBA, the lowest expectations of all the teams. And then MVP Black, even though they are coming into this event as a second seed, even though they got swept in the finals of Korea, they are still very much the heavy hitters and largely the favorites. But we haven't had a show in a few weeks. And since all of that time has passed, MVP Black has released some statements basically saying, we might swap to Dota 2. We don't know if we're going to even take this seriously because we're all kind of, if the game feels stale to us. Do you think they're just trying to get people to feel complacent and not study for them? Or do you think that's them genuinely saying, we're not really 100% right now?
Sounds like John's.
I mean, regardless of the reason, I don't know why they make it public. I don't know why they would do that.
Well, it could be a mental game thing.
I really don't think they do that just for the mental game.
I don't think you even bother attempting that for the mental game. I don't think the teams that actually care are going to count you out because you've said that. I think the only thing it does is actually make you play worse because you're now giving yourself an excuse, right? It's much worse to give yourself an excuse in your own head, oh, we're bored or whatever, and then you to yourself now don't put your whole heart into it. You don't play it 110%. You don't have the fire. So I think that excuse is actually really bad for them to put out in public, even if that's how they are actually feeling.
Huh. Okay. So does this lower everyone's expectations for them in the event? In all the interviews, the post-game interviews, they're like, oh, we're 30% power. We're 35% power, whatever. They're not feeling it. They really aren't. Even in their interviews, they're not saying that we're the kings. They're winning their matches, right? They didn't drop a single game in the group stage, if I'm correct. And
their group
just doesn't make sense why they would
group is easy.
say that. I don't know why they are saying that. It's just I don't see how it benefits them at all to make that kind of stuff public.
I think I can kind of see where they're coming from. I think what's happening is they're realizing that the expectations set for them are so high right now that when they're not just completely stomping every single game, people start asking questions. I mean, it's the exact same thing that happened to us. So suddenly they get 4-0'd, it's out of nowhere. And all of a sudden they're talking about leaving the game when right before all they were talking about was, all they cared about was being the best in the world.
Yeah.
And now
what it really reminds me of is just the whole tempo thing from last year.
Tempo dominating the world and then going to BlizzCon and failing?
Whoa.
Well, just
don't ever say dominate the world for Tempo.
Well, the Tempo stuff went public from the internal drama.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry, Cap. I tilted you. I'm sorry.
Let's not forget history.
Just talking about Tempo very quickly. Sray, obviously you were part of that organization for a while, and Zoya has released the fact that he's retiring. Yesterday Zix announced he's retiring. Obviously it seems like Tempo doesn't even have a team at this point. Do you think that brand will stay in the scene?
I think it's undecided.
Okay.
I don't think there's a decision one way or the other yet. What I think will happen is I think it's unlikely they'll stay. I think like I don't know what they're doing. Like I don't have insider information or anything. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's unlikely I think it's extremely unlikely. I just don't think they'll keep the same roster. And what'll probably happen is they might keep 1 or 2 players and build a new team. But I think the most likely thing is they just pull out.
Well, Reynad recently sold his CS:GO team. And if there's rumors that he's looking to sell the brand entirely, which is interesting. I'm curious. Like, it's not like he's been doing it for a long time. I guess he's just got better things to spend his time on. Maybe it's been more stress than he's wanted, but who knows?
I'd be very surprised if that was true.
Yeah, same.
Very surprised.
I
think that he really loves doing like as much as he's salty. I think that he really
he's passionate about esports.
Like,
that's obvious.
Like the business side. I mean, not the. He doesn't like the drama. He likes the business side.
Yeah,
from what I know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, that's just a rumor, and selling the CS:GO team and then hearing that rumor soon after, it's like maybe people are just making shit up. Maybe there's actually some validity to it. I'm not too sure. All right, back to the group discussion. Group A favorites, obviously MVP Black, East Star. Made a few hero swaps in Eventic. Also got swept at the NA Regionals by Gale Force, who's already out of the tournament, mind you. So we'll have to see what ends up happening in Group A. But moving to Group B, we have Tempest, Team Dignitas, My Insanity, and X Team. And it always makes me very sad when we only have 2 European teams or 2 North American teams and they end up in the same group. And unfortunately, that's the situation. What just died?
It's all good. Something was just dropped.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I hope it's alive.
I don't know if that was loud.
It wasn't that bad, man.
I think this group is way stacked.
Yeah.
This group is like way more stacked than the other group. I feel like so Tempest obviously has to be the favorite or whatever for this group, if not the tournament. But the other 3, I feel, can all compete. Like they're all solid. Like if Tempest is a tier 1 team, maybe Black is a tier 1 team. I think all 3 of those teams are like the tier 2 or tier 1.5 teams, like depending on how they show up. So this group is the one that I'm really interested in watching every single match because I think it's going to say a lot about the strength of the teams in the tournament overall.
I think it's probably Tempest My Insanity, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's the group starting off with Dignitas versus My Insanity, like legit, just like the top 2 Europe teams duking it out round 1. That's gonna set the pacing for, I think, who from Europe advances. I do think that one of the European teams will make it out, for sure. And then, X Team and Tempest, you got to give the Tempest. Like X Team is good, but
you would just automatically assume that MYI or Dig make it out over X Team, like no questions asked. You just assume one is going to make it out.
Well, the fact that one of them get a victory right there is actually, I think, a benefit, which is why I think there is a high probability that one of the EU teams makes it out.
Yeah, no, because your winners group match is against Tempest, and you don't think it's even a chance that they win that match, right?
No, I think there is a chance. I just think it's very unlikely that Tempest doesn't make it out of the group.
Okay, interesting.
Really?
I don't think any of those teams in the group have a realistic shot at a match against Tempest if Tempest is playing at 100%.
Okay. They're that much better, you think?
This is Tempest's first world event, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The first time experiencing other regions and how you have to adapt to new metas, which is a completely different game than just learning your draft at home and applying it. Like, and once you get into like gold metas, like it's completely different. Anything you think they're gonna run, they're gonna run it completely different. They're gonna run it a different way, and they're gonna hit it at different timing. So like, we'll see how they deal with that. I mean, they're all StarCraft pros, right? So that probably shouldn't be too much of a problem. But that is a factor that can definitely.
I mean, I'll tell you this much: they're a Korean team, and these Korean teams have great infrastructure and great coaching. They actually have O'Prime as their coach, which means he's gonna have the deets on everyone. He's already got all the deets on Dignitas, I guarantee you. But he's gathered his intel from My Insanity, and they are going to be sitting down every single night, breaking down exactly how to dismember their opponents. That's how they 4-0'd MVP Black. MVP Black might not have played perfect in the Korea finals. But that's what they do. It's all about preparation. And yeah, you mentioned like these guys are. I don't know if they're all former StarCraft pros. I know Duck Duck and Lockdown are. I recognize those 2 guys from StarCraft, but I don't know if Hyde and Hong Kano and Dami are. I'm not sure. Powerful team. That's for sure. And number 1 seed of Korea with the number 1 seed of Europe, the number 2 seed of Europe, and X team they were number 2 seed of China.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to be stacked. So as we go into the next stage of the tournament, obviously 4 teams total will make it into playoffs. So this is basically a group stage round robin where it will be 2 full days of group stage. I believe it's literally just day 1 is going to be Group A, and that'll be June 18th. And then day 2 will be Group B, and that'll be June 19th. And then playoffs will be on the 20th of June, and that will basically just be semi-grand finals, single elim, and that's the World Championship. $500,000 on the line for the event, and that's it for the season. What are you guys expecting overall in terms of like crazy strats? You guys think that there's probability that teams have heroes that have been out of the meta that may see play that almost never do? Or is it just going to be standard stuff?
I think sure Butcher could see some play.
Butcher?
Yeah.
Mm.
In which context? Like
what do you mean context?
Like what map?
Like which teams? Yeah. Or just I don't think he'll be running a blow up comp, but I think if he does see play, he'll see it in kind of like he's really good versus like Sonya and stuff. If you have a whole team dedicated to him, like you can kind of fill the role. So maybe on like Infernal Shrines or something. Just know that some teams have had some success with him, and I know that a lot of teams have experimented with him. And I do think he's pretty solid overall right now. So
cool.
I think that there's a pretty good possibility that he'll be played. I don't think Chromie will be played.
I was just gonna ask, do you think there'll be even a single Chromie game at the event? Like,
if it is, it's a blow up comp. But it'll have to be like a last pick in like the perfect situation. And
yeah. I think that's actually about where Chromie fits. Is like the dream, your second pick. You have one spot open for a ranged mage, like, and the stars line up, and you can pick Chromie. So I think it's probably like a 20% chance that Chromie sees a single game at this event. If I just had to put a number on it.
And if it does, it's coming from EU probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Korea will run it.
Is Tracer ran a lot internationally?
No,
she played internationally.
I saw MVP
some
Black
play
player.
in EU. Oh, MVP
Black
okay.
Played her versus X team, right?
Yeah.
I expect her to see play.
I think she's the best hero that isn't played constantly right now.
Mm.
Like that's not like a top pick. I think she's just disgustingly strong, especially with the like, if you go Tracer Tassadar, you just like almost win the game. Like 99% of the time.
Can't kill them.
It's so good. She's really, really, really good.
It's like Illidan with more damage but less survivability. Well, not survivability, but less
Kind of
damage.
like a Zeratul, almost. Yeah, she's like an Illidan Zeratul combination.
Yeah.
She's a really cool hero for sure. Okay, so you guys think maybe some Butcher, maybe some Tracer going in there. Chromie, it's Europe. We're looking at you. Maybe you'll bust it out. We saw Chromie play a total of 1 game at NA Regionals, I think, and it was on BOE and it didn't work. I guess they do have some success in the past.
Yeah, what I heard was that they did actually pretty well in scrims with her.
Yeah.
Against Navantic, so.
Navantic. Oh, they sound so elegant when you pronounce it like that.
Navantic.
Navantic actually banded against them in scrims, is what I heard. How am I supposed to say it? Wait, say it again.
It's Navantic. We're good. Navantic, boys. Sick City. Well, guys, 3 more days until the HGC continues. But keeping on the HGC discussion, we've had 3 weeks off the show. They did announce the fall season, so this is pretty much what's coming up after Sweden concludes, as Sweden is the World Championship. We know many of the dates. So soon after, starting this July, the dates are not locked in exactly. The China Gold League will begin starting in August. What's up?
You said we know many of the dates, and you immediately loaded to a page that says play updates TBD, play updates TBD, play updates TBD. I just want that.
We have some dates. Damn it. Super League.
We do know.
It's August. It's rough, man. August to October. Details TBD. Europe Fall Regional. Yeah, there's a date, July 14th to 17th. And then the next fall regional will be at Gamescom, August 18th to 21st. North
That's
America,
awesome.
yeah,
Gamescom is a huge event.
and that's like Cologne is actually where ESL is based out of. So obviously that's going to be ESL will be there in full force. Super easy event for them to put on a high quality production, which is great. And then NA Fall Regional number 1 has not been confirmed yet, but the second regional will be PAX Prime, and we were there last year for MGA. Straight? Were you there? I can't remember.
No, I don't know why I keep hearing people saying that DreamHack or the regionals 1 in the fall is going to be in DreamHack Montreal, but that's what I keep hearing.
It's a speculation. Everyone's speculating.
Speculation.
Yeah. Because it makes sense because DreamHack Montreal is in August, I believe, and then if the next regional is in September, it's like they would be like 2 weeks apart or something though, or something crazy. I'd have to look at the dates. Let me just look at the dates.
I don't know. People have just been talking about it like it's already confirmed. So
it definitely isn't confirmed. Definitely is not confirmed. August 12th to 14th. So that would be like, it would be tight. It would be really tight to make that happen. The only alternative I could see to that would be another one in the Burbank studios, like the last one we just had, which was a pleasant experience. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there.
It's a lot better than the spring.
Okay.
Kath is like, it was fine. PAX Prime will be dope though.
PAX Prime is amazing.
Yeah,
that's such a fun event to be at. The whole PAX Prime event, like it was so much fun last year. I had a blast.
Yeah, so that'll be really fun. And then just continuing on down the line, ANZ is going to be September 3rd for their finals, which is actually partnered with the ESL, which is quite cool. I don't know if ESL normally does their production for that. And then Taipei is in September. It's September 17th. East Asia for SEA, it's going to be September 24th. And then September 27th, it's going to be Latin America. So it's going to be pretty stacked. Everything will be concluded by early October. I think the last thing that will be concluding will be Korea, most likely, based on the dates we have. And then BlizzCon, the prize pool doubles. So it'll be Anaheim. As always, the Anaheim Convention Center, November 4th and 5th, pretty much the same exact weekend as last year. It's a $1 million prize pool. Up from the $500K that Sweden is. That's if you get first, I think you get $500,000. So $100K a player. That's really nice. That's a lot.
They're increasing the first ratio by that much.
I'm not certain.
Because right now it's 150.
Okay.
First. So if they're just doubling it straight, then it would be 300. So, but I don't know. Maybe they are making it steeper since it's a bigger prize pool. That's a possibility.
I bet they spread it out. That seems to be their new thing. So
it might be. I love the top heavy just for the storyline. I mean, obviously I'm not a player, so I can't sympathize with you guys in that regard. But just the storyline of these guys just won $500,000. That sounds like holy crap. Like that's cool. I mean, obviously getting $300,000 is also equally badass, but 500 sounds so much nicer.
It's 60% as badass.
Don't you go mathing on me, Dunk Train. That's not allowed, okay?
I'm not a caster yet. I can do math still, Jake.
Oh, shit. I just say yet.
Yet?
What? No.
Oh!
So if anyone's wondering what Dunk Train's doing, please inform me, because I don't know what Dunk Train's doing. You won't tell me. Do you have any announcements, Dunk Train?
I do not have any announcements yet.
Damn.
Are you staying competitive, or you don't know?
Right now, I think continuing to play on a pro team is probably lower on the list than the alternatives I'm experimenting with right now.
That is very sad to hear.
Confirms.
Potentially. He's been streaming a lot. I know that's definitely a viable option to be a top streamer. I mean, there are full-time streamers in the game like Grubby and Mune and Chew that all make a living. And I could see that happening. What, did Jilly walk by and the chat's freaking out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told her to stop walking by. Sit in your room. Distracting chat.
Too funny. Yeah, so Dunga, you want to give us the lowdown? Is casting actually an option that you think you would pursue?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely something I'm thinking about. I mean, it's no question. Like I used to cast like 2 years ago now, 19 months ago or whatever. Like in that very first league, I don't know how many people remember.
Oh, we cast together, didn't we?
I think we did. We did cast one.
I didn't even know who you were. I was like, this Dunk Train. Like
that was like 2 years ago when Heroes was just having competitive, like before there were any real tournaments happening, before even the exhibition we played in CAF, like the ESL Major League, whatever it was called. Not that, like before that, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely something that's fun, and we'll see. It's an option.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the two of us, you and I, had talked about casting the TownHall Heroes EU Invitational, which I still want to do. I know there hasn't been any news on it, and there's the primary reason was I wanted to find out the dates for fall, and now I more or less have the dates, which is really good. And the other variable is just I need teams to be a little bit more stable in Europe. Otherwise, it's going to be like a 4-team invitational because there are not eight stable teams in Europe to do this event with, which is, it's hard to do invitationals without rosters, right? It's hard. So, but we're hoping to do that, and if that does happen, you should have Dunk and I casting that, which would be a lot of fun. Okay, and for anyone that's just tuning in, I saw people asking about BKB. BKB actually decided to retire from the show today. He's no longer going to be part of TownHall, and he's actually he might try to join one other team, is what he said on Twitter. He said if there's an opportunity, he might try once more, but he's more or less burned out on competitive heroes. And he's actually looking at Battle Right, which is a game that's not even out yet. But I think it's like Bloodline Champions 2 or something, and he said he used to play Bloodline Champions, so he's hoping that'll be cool. For now, he's going to be streaming Heroes in Overwatch. That's his plan moving forward for the immediate future. So if you guys want more BKB, he's still around. He's going to be streaming, but he wasn't feeling it to be part of the show anymore. Rip BKB, we all love you. He's so Gucci. He's probably sitting in his sauna right now.
Mm-hmm.
I get some feeling that I'm never going to see that guy again. That's kind of sad.
No, you'll see him. We'll make it happen. We'll all go to.
I'll hold you to
we'll
that.
all go to Latvia and sit in his sauna. And
oh, nice. I'm down.
We're gonna have a NA Heroes adventure to Latvia just to go to BKB sauna. It'll be great. Yeah, I guess we're in the show update section now. Now that I think about it, because we're talking about Dunk's future, we're talking about everything else. I guess I haven't publicly said this on the show. I made a Reddit post this past week, and I talked on TownHall Overwatch last week, basically saying at this point in time, I'm putting a lot of additional effort into Overwatch myself, and I'm still doing stuff with Heroes, and obviously TownHall Heroes is still here, and I'm still playing Heroes every day. But the primary reasoning behind this is because I'm looking to start my own business, which does basically esports productions. And with Overwatch having tons of opportunity and viewership, and I thoroughly enjoy the game. I play tons and tons of Overwatch. It just seems like the logical decision for me to focus on Overwatch for right now. Now, I intend to keep doing stuff with Heroes, and I intend to keep trying to create events for Heroes. And I do genuinely think that now that we have ranked, and Blizzard's doing all this promotional stuff in the client, like the fact that the actual game is being, like when the tournament's live, there's a splash page in the client. That is so freaking massive for esports. There's so many good things Blizzard's doing right now. I think Heroes has a great future. It is in a slump. No one can deny that Heroes is in a slump. A lot of people are quitting right now, and a lot of people aren't. They're not feeling it, but it will bounce back, and it will be great. And I'll be here through all of it. So I just wanted to make sure that all the regular listeners had heard that story as well. And that's my status here on the show. Looking to keep TownHall rolling with my beautiful bearded friend, Dunk Train.
Good job. Hold the line.
Caffeine, free agent.
Yes.
So you got any offers yet?
Question. I have, yeah. I'm still undecided. I'm waiting a little bit longer, about a week and a half, I think, or 2 weeks. Right now I'm focusing a lot more on just streaming and playing the game. And I'm actually working on some guides too.
Oh, nice.
Like some in-depth tanking guides, like per hero, per phase of the game, per comp matchup, stuff like that. So yeah, I've got like a lot of the content written. Now I got to figure out how to make it into videos. That'll be fun. But I realized that, it's like we have a really small pool of resources, for making people get better at the game. So I think it's kind of like, and now I have time to do it. I have no excuse. I'm not on a team right now that's practicing all the time. So I'll try to make some better players so I have a better Hero League experience.
Awesome, man. That's great. It's whose cat?
No
Is that
news.
your cat?
It's my cat.
Summon
yeah.
it. Summon it to the stream.
She's getting fed. That's why she's so loud right now.
Okay.
Or else I would.
There's no way to summon a cat that's eating. That cat is not moving.
Yeah.
And then Srey, obviously, Brain Power has confirmed your guys' roster. Have you guys taken like a bit of a break after NA regionals, and or like what's the status of the team right now?
I think everyone took a break. Like all the teams in general took a break. Started scrimming again this week. We haven't really scrimmed that much, but I mean, I feel like it's going to go well. I definitely think it's debatable if we're weaker short term, but I think it'll definitely be stronger long term. I think that it's just, I don't know. It feels pretty good right now.
That's good.
Like I think that like right now the status of NA is, I don't know. It's not that strong right now. So I think that we have a really good shot of making it up there, at least publicly.
Nice.
Yeah. NA's in a really weird situation right now, but it seems like another one of those transition periods that will be over with soon, and everything should hopefully be in line for the regionals before BlizzCon, it seems.
Do you guys think?
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I mean, right now, I think it's pretty obvious everyone's just waiting for GFE and Avanta to get back, and I'm like 99% sure. Okay, it's in the Fensic? Is that okay? All right. I think there'll be roster changes as soon as they get back. I don't know from what team, but I'd be very surprised if there weren't.
Interesting.
And you know, if players come off the top teams, then they'll shuffle to the other teams, and it'll just be a domino effect. Mm-hmm. So as soon as they come back, I'm sure there'll be changes. I mean, we have 2 free agents. They're pretty good right now, so we'll see.
Well, I guess we'll have to see. I mean, obviously, the roster apocalypse will, like you said, it'll continue through HGC. There will be no rosters that are stable until after HGC, and then even then, there's going to be a lot of scrimming and trying out people and seeing who meshes and who doesn't. As we prepare for the next regionals, we have until, I guess, PAX Prime potentially, depending on when the other NA regional is. Because the PAX Prime is what, August? Or no, it's September. I completely forgot.
Yeah, September.
Very beginning of September, right?
Yeah, early September.
I will find it.
Because it wasn't that cold yet. I seem to recall it being early September.
It was super nice last year.
Oh, yeah.
September 2nd through 5th, yeah. So, you know, it kind of has to be before then, because I guess they could do the first weekend of October, but that it's only given, you know, the team a month prior to BlizzCon. And it seems like for BlizzCon, they always try to have everything said and done earlier than that. But considering there's no visa issues for people that are Americans, since this is NA, maybe it could work for the other regional to be in October. It's just weird that Fall Regional 1 is listed as TBD, and Fall Regional 2 is confirmed, which makes me think that that'll be an earlier event. Like Srey was saying, people were speculating DreamHack Montreal, which is like 3 to 4 weeks prior. Could make sense. Who knows? They would have to announce that sooner than later, because all the American players would have to get their visas for Canada. JP, do you have a Canadian visa?
Wait, you don't need a
You don't need a Canadian visa.
What?
There's no like open borders.
For some reason, my brain was like, France. JP is like, he lived in France or something. Can he automatically go to Canada?
That did actually mess us up once, because Dream is a Chinese citizen, so we had some visa troubles one time. It was pretty funny.
That's not good.
It's not funny. We almost missed Korea.
Oh no.
And no, it's funny because it worked out. It wouldn't have been funny if it actually failed.
Okay.
We didn't even know if we were going to get the visa in time for Sweden if we ended up going. That was another thing, yeah.
Oh man, that's a struggle.
Yeah.
Well, are you French born or American born? I forget.
No, I'm born in the U.S., so I was a dual citizen
America.
until I was in the military, and they revoked my dual citizenship.
Right.
Now I'm just yeah.
Really? Revoke it?
Yeah, to get secret clearance.
So that he'd go into the secret world of military sports.
Anyways.
A world I know nothing of. Dunkus Trainus, where's your dog?
My dog is on my bed right now.
That's dank.
Odin. Come here. Let's see if I can show you.
Damn.
Don't show my dog.
Oh, dog.
Show my dog.
Yeah, that's my sister's dog, so my dog is in the hole. I can't show that.
Damn, they have their own dogs. They're like Pokemon masters where they battle each other with their dogs.
Oh, yeah, all the time. If by battle, you mean... Never mind, not going to get
That's
into
illegal.
it. Yeah, not that kind of battle. They're lovers, not fighters, man.
Good to hear. Well, friends, we have made it through all of our topics here today for TownHall Heroes episode 109. So we are actually going to transition to the shout out section. Starting with Sray, the first time appearance on the show. Thanks so much for coming on. And where can all of these lovely viewers find you?
Just on Twitter at SrayHots and on Twitch, which is ironically at SrayLol. So
wrecked. I didn't type it on the stream on the overlay because I didn't accept it.
Okay. All right, I'll have to deal with that.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for coming on, and everyone go follow him
Appreciate
at SrayHots and then on Twitch at SrayLol. Do you stream much?
It's off and on, honestly.
Okay.
I'm gonna stream one today, play Grandmaster, but yeah, probably like end of this week, early next week.
I mean, you used to be a top MMR player, right, in Hot Logs at one point. So,
might still be if they haven't reset it, but yeah.
So you could potentially watch SrayLol on Twitch climb to rank 1 GM. Who knows? Caffeine, take it away.
Nice. Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter. Call me Calf is my new Twitter for now. Or on Twitch at King Caffeine. I'm actually thinking about name changing to just Calf because it's easier and it fits everywhere. And I hate how my name is too long.
Yeah, that'd be smart.
So that's in the works. So yeah, look out for news on some guides. I'll be streaming multiple times a week. I might even stream tonight. Probably will. So yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Jake. Dunk.
Thanks for coming on
Thanks.
literally 45-minute notice.
Yeah, it's chill. I wasn't doing anything.
Much appreciated, Dunkus.
Yeah, so I haven't changed my Twitter or Twitch handle, so I'm still just Dunktrain everywhere. You can always hit me up, catch my streams. I've been trying to stream more lately. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I always say that. And, people seem to enjoy it, so we're doing good. Other than that, just kind of working out what I'm doing now that I'm no longer on a Pro Heroes team, and we'll see where I end up. It should be fun.
How's the treadmill stream going?
It's interesting. Actually, it's like people always freak out. It's funny. Like right now, anytime someone comes to my stream, they're like, "Are you on a treadmill dancing on a Stairmaster? Are you an idiot?" That's generally their first question. And the next question is, are you on a team or are you still playing Pro Heroes? Like, that's basically the two things I get every time someone comes to my stream. So it's pretty funny. Like the are you dancing or like why is he dancing is probably the funniest one I've ever gotten from like just like what does that even mean? How would I be dancing while I'm playing this game, dude?
Just head bobbing.
Yeah, dude. That one was funny, but
You should make a move out command or something that explains it for you.
Yeah, I could do that.
Nice, man. Well, obviously, we wish you the best as to whatever you decide to do, and happy to have you still here with me on Town Hall.
Happy to be here.
Well, friends, for myself, we already kind of gave the announcements. BKB no longer going to be on the show moving forward. He could be on as a guest. That door is always open for him, but he decided it doesn't make much sense for him to be on as a regular host at this point in time. For myself, I started casting Overwatch last week, my first ever Overwatch cast. You can look forward to more of those and plenty of Heroes casting in the future. I'm working on launching my own esports company, as I said. I've made a lot of progress. It's actually getting quite close. So stay tuned for that. The goal is to run events for Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and potentially a monthly thing for Melee. Tomorrow, I will be running TownHall Overwatch at 4 p.m. Eastern, and after that, I'm actually going to cast a Melee tournament. So if you're watching on Thursday, I'll be casting Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament on twitch.tv/CT Melee. And if you guys don't know this, Melee was my first esport back in 2006. That was the game I played competitively. So it's kind of fun going back to my roots and commentating a game that I had never commentated. But thanks so much for tuning into episode number 109. But next week will be our 110th episode. Should be a lot of fun. Dunk Train, Caffeine, and Saray. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you, guys.